Hey up all, and welcome to another Hengist Wild Camps. I'm back in the Peak District and I'm heading up from a place called Carbrook. I used to live just down the road when I was a nipper in Millbrook. Yeah, we're heading up towards Alpkit Pike and then we're heading up towards the Chew Valley and Indian's Head. Well, it's a bit of a steep one this. I may need to get my trekking poles out soon. As we get higher, it's a bit wooded at the moment. But when there's some views, I will show them to you. But for the moment, I'm going to plod on. I just thought I'd give you an update. Behind me over there, I don't know if you can see that cairn, that's Alpkit Pike. And in that direction is, you can see some rocks over there, that's Indian's Head, that's where we're heading to. Well, it's very windy again. Not quite as windy as it was last time I was up here, but we shall see. Right, I'm going to catch up with my mate who's over there, and I'll show you some views as I'm going along, but at the moment I'm going to plod on in this wind. We've just arrived at our campsite, the scene of the accident, where my fabric on my Tetri failed. The poles and the sleeves that they go in with all the guy lines, really strong, but unfortunately the fabric tore. Well, the good news is, Alpkit sent me a replacement, but I'm not in that tonight. I'm in my new Vern one, and I'm with my mate who's also in his Vern one. So it's on and off rain. You can see I might look a bit wet, so I'm not going to hang around. There's an hour or so before sunset, so just down there where my trekking poles are, that's where I'm thinking of getting my tent up. So I'll get on with that, and once it's up, I'll bring you back later. Margarita, tequila and lime. 14.9, 15%. Good bit of kit that, isn't it? Oh, cheers mate. Well, I'm all sorted in my tent. Got it pitched. My mate's in his Vern next to me. I'll show you around later on. It's just been raining, you know, with showers on and off, so nice to be dry and warm. It was that windy, the rain cover came off, so we put them away. Bottom of my sleeping bag got a bit damp, but it's just on the outside, it's not gone through, so I'm just letting that air off. I'm lying on my Exped R-Value 5.2, got my silver mat again, in my lovely new Vern 1 tent for the second time. It's absolutely brilliant, so nice and warm. And it's a warm evening though tonight. I've brought my -3 bag instead of my -9 bag. I don't think the temperature's going to get down to below 9 or 8 possibly tonight. It's almost like summer. Well, I'm at that part of the camp where everything's sorted. I can relax. It's about 5:15. The sun has gone down, I think, by now, and it's going to get dark very soon. But my thoughts are turning to, you've guessed it, a tin of McEwen's Champion 7.3. Well, tonight's beer is courtesy of Mark, who very kindly donated to my Buy Me a Beer fund. So thanks very much, and I've said to Simon that the next time we go camping, I'll put a 4-pack in the car for him. So cheers mate, I really appreciate it. Right, well let's get it cracked open. Whoa, that's a welcome smell. Well, everybody at home, good health and cheers. By gum, that's good beer. Well, I'm just going to pop it in my boot, have a chat with my mate, just relax, listen to the sounds of nature, the rain pitter-pattering on the tent. It's perfect. I'll see you in a bit. Well, sun's gone down. I've had that first tin of McEwen's, and my mate gave me this little 4-ounce hip flask, and it's got a really nice single malt in it, a Talisker Sky, I think it's called. Oh, it's something like 46% strong, but it doesn't taste strong, which I always think with any drink is a good sign. It's like McEwen's, it's 7.3, but it doesn't taste strong because it's so well blended, and this whiskey's the same. Anyway, I'll get back to having a slurp of this, so good health everybody, and cheers. Oh, that is so smooth. Well, I'm going to have a few more slurps of this. I've got my stove out down there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, I'm thinking of getting some food on. Tonight is going to be 2 packets of mug shots. I've got 3 dessert spoons, heat dessert spoons full of cheese sauce powder, all emptied into a Ziploc bag. And I couldn't find any German salami, which I prefer to the Italian salami. So I've got some Tesco chorizo. So the plan of action is basically chop up the chorizo, chuck it in pan, pour some water in pan, get all that to the boil, and when it's boiling, empty the Ziploc bag that's got the 2 macaroni cheese mug shots and extra sauce powder in. Then take it off the heat, put the lid on, stick it in a Mylar bag and let it hydrate, just like one of those meals that you get that you pour hot water into. Well, I'm just going to have a few more slurps and then I'm going to get on with that. Oh, by gum, that's good whiskey. Well, as I was saying before, I'm going to get some grub on. So first thing I'm going to do is pull this footprint back. I just need to unhook it. Just need to turn my light on. There we go. Right, that'll do as my cutting board. I've got some Tesco 16 spicy chorizo slices. Well, I'm going to chop these up and chuck them in this pan. So, yeah, I need to get these open. Not all of them are going to make it into the pan. They're getting chopped up in a rustic fashion. Well, me pan of water is boiling. Well, I suspect it's boiling. Let's take the lid off and have a look. I'll just use this cleaning pad. Oh yeah, that's boiling away. Right, let's just give it a stir. Make sure that's central on the cross stand. Don't want it tipping over. Oh, it's like soup already, that, with the chorizo that's been boiled in it. Oh, this is stage 2. I've got 2 mugshot macaroni cheeses in there, and if you can see some white powder there, that's, I can't remember who makes it, but it's on supermarket shelves. It's cheese sauce powder. I put 3 heat dessert spoonfuls of that in there as well. Right, well, let's get it tipped in boiling water and try not to miss. Right, well, that's boiling away at the edges. Let's get it all stirred in. Let's get all that cheese sauce powder all dissolved in the water. That's taking it straight off the boil. I've got dustings of cheese powder. Very tasty around the edge of me windshield. Only me would find that funny. And because of that cheese sauce powder, it's starting to thicken already. Well, stage 3 now. Now it's all simmering away. So take it off the heat, put the stove out, put the lid on, which kind of makes it a bit airtight. And then I've got this Mylar bag, which I'm going to pop it into and let the pasta hydrate. It says on the packet for when you're making a mug shot, it takes 5 minutes in a cup. Well, I've got 2, so that's going to be 10 minutes. In my experience, it can take up to 30 minutes before it's properly hydrated. That's with a stir halfway through. Right, well, let's take it off stove. Stick it over there, try not to set my arm on fire. Really easy to blow out these non-spill speedster spirit stoves. No burning your hand on a storm cooker by dropping a cap over it. You just go And that's it, it's out. That's not even hot. Right, well, let's sling that over there. Let's bring this back over here, give it a stir. My good mate Simon, who gave me that chest pack, he gave me this Mylar bag as well. And it's coming really handy for when I make my version of a cheap dehydrated meal. I think this whole thing, I think the chorizo, it was under £1. Might have been 99p or something. The mug shots were 50p each. And the cheese sauce powder, that was quite expensive. It's like £3 a tub and you don't get much. But 3 dessert spoons of that. Let's call it 50p worth of cheese powder. So what's that, a total of £2.50? And yeah, it's not as convenient as one of those pouches where you get 600 calories in it, but I bet there's close on 1,000 calories in that. The only drawback is, you know, it takes a bit of preparation and you've got to wash your pan up after. But for that total cost under £3, I don't think that's a great sacrifice, especially if you're on a budget. Anyway, I'll shut up, get it stuck in this bag, because the bottom of it will have cooled down enough now. It's a Mylar bag, I don't know why I'm concerned about it melting. Oh, that is red hot. I'm going to use the handles. Yeah, it's made by Big Sky. If anyone's interested in Mylar bags. Right, well, that's cooled down now, and there's a bit of fuel left in that, so I'll put screw top lid on it and conserve it. Yeah, I suppose I can put my footprint back now. I'll just get rid of that knife. Could do with wiping that down. I'll do that in a minute off camera. Well, I don't think there's any need to bring this inside the tent. I normally do that just to, if there's any heat, then it goes in here. But I've got it insulated from the ground with my silicone mat. It's in a Mylar bag. There's very little heat escaping from that. So I'm just going to leave that there. I'm going to wait for this to hydrate. I'll leave this for quite a long time. After 10 minutes, I'll take it out of the bag, give it a stir, put it back in, and often 20 minutes, sometimes half an hour. But it stays red hot in this bag. It's really good, especially when it's insulated from the ground on top of this silicone mat. And this ground sheet for the Vern, it's really thick. Got quite a bit of insulation going on, besides my R-Value air mat, which I'm not lying on at the moment, and it's a warm night. This footprint's quite thick. The bathtub on the inner is quite thick. And there's lots of little air pockets forming, and we all know air's an insulator. So it's quite warm just like that. But it is a nice warm night. I've still got the door wide open. Well, I'm just going to have some of this fine single malt whiskey while I wait for my food to hydrate. So once again, good health all, and cheers. Oh, by gum, that is good whiskey. Have you noticed I'm not going like, oh, that, which I did when I was drinking that grain whiskey. It's so smooth, it's beautiful. Anyway, I'm going to shut up and get back to having a chat with my mate. See you in a bit. Well, this food still feels really hot, although it's been ages since I put it in this bag. I've been outside chatting with my mate, we've been having a few drinks, and I just thought, my food! And yeah, I was shifting things around, and I thought, my wooden spoon, where's that? And I couldn't find it. I've been searching everywhere, so I borrowed this kind of wooden device off my mate. It'll do for shoveling it into my gob. Right, well, let's get this open, give it a stir, and see if it's hydrated. Well, it's still nice and hot. Let's get the lid off. Oh, that's still steaming away. It looks hydrated. I'll just give it a stir with this thing. After I gave that a stir, there was a little bit of pasta left on the edge of the spoon, which I gave a taste of, and it's totally hydrated. And it tastes very nice and more spicy because I've used that chorizo compared to the salami. Well, let's give it a proper taste. I'll scoop some up with this and I'll get some chorizo with it. There's a good dollop. Oh, that's really nice and at the perfect temperature. It's been in that bag for ages, but it's still hot, but still, not that hot that it burns your mouth. Oh, I'm going to be able to wolf this down. Well, I'm going to get stuck into this while it's still hot, and I'll bring you back after. Well, the time is approaching 8:30. I've had my tea, I've done washing up, my pan's ready for the morning, for when I put a pan of water on and make a cup of coffee. But I need something to wash that food down. Well, I've finished off that little flask of whiskey, single malt whiskey, Talisker Sky, and bloody lovely. But my thoughts are now turning to another tin of McEwan's Champion 7.3. I've still got more whiskey, not that one. Yeah, I've got an 8-ounce flask there, but it's a single grain whiskey. So I brought some mixers, some Canada Dry. Now my mate, he won't normally drink stuff like this, but I said, at the end at night when you're drunk enough, I bet you do, because I'm going to saving it till last. But in the meantime, I'm going to drink this. So let's get it cracked open. Oh, that smells wholesome. Well, everybody at home, good health and cheers. By gum, that's good beer. Well, I'm just going to pop it back into my boot. My mate's brought his bass speaker with him and he's been playing some tunes. I'm going to get back to my room with my mate and I'll see you later. Well, apologies for the light, but welcome back to Hengist Cocktail Bar. Well, I've got 2 cups, different colours, but equally sized, which will come in handy while I come to judge splitting this 8-ounce hip flask of whiskey. It's just grain whiskey, grouse whiskey, but I intend to mix it with ginger ale here. So let's get this divided. Right, let's get the ginger ale in it. Whiskey and ginger.
Hey Steve,
Yeah?
sorry, I've interrupted you recording.
I'm still recording, mate. I'm just about to bring this drink over to you.
All right.
Well, I'm glad you stopped it then because of copyright issues. Right, I'm inbound, mate. Well, that's the drinks. I'll just go and take this one over to me, mate. I'll see you in a second. Right, let's grab my mate's drink. Mine's there. I'll come back for that in a minute. let's walk over to his tent.
Whiskey.
It's on its way, lad. I'll pass it you by handle.
Now fuck off.
I'll have to beat that out. Anyway, I'm going back to my tent. Well, I'm back in my tent, and I've got a whiskey and ginger here. So I'm going to have a slurp of this. So everybody at home, good health and cheers. Oh, by gum, that's a refreshing concoction. How surprisingly good this whiskey and ginger tastes like right at the end of the night. Yeah, it's not like overpowering, and ginger settles your stomach.
Yeah, nice.
Well, I'll say it again. Good health, all. Cheers. Good health, mate. Good health. Cheers. Well, I'm going to finish off slurping this, chatting to my mate. He's just turned music down for copyright issues, and he's going to turn it back up after. And I'm going to enjoy it the rest of the evening, and I'll bring you back later on when I'm bedding down for night. See you in a bit. What an excellent evening I've had up here tonight with my mate up at Indian's Head in the Chew Valley. Man versus nature, the road to victory. Last time I was up here, nature won, and it broke my tent. But in the Vern one tonight, I've had no worries. It's been sound as a pound. Although, to be honest, the gusts were quite strong while we're coming up, but now they're pretty still. And we've been looking at the stars really clear overnight and quite bright. Well, it's been a really good night. I've enjoyed being here and got some good photographs of the two Verns. And not sure about the video. I'm not sure if I got out of the tent and did any videoing. Well, I've had some good grub, quite a few beers, some nice whiskies, and some whiskey grade mixers with ginger ale. That was nice at the end of the night. And lots of good laughs. And it's not over yet. I mean, I'm going to get my head down, which I'm really looking forward to, but in the morning, we're going to do a bit of a circular. We came up in my car. We're going to leave that there, and we're going to walk along the Chew Valley, and then over the wilderness, and then back into East Manchester, where we live. And my mate is going to get in his car and drop me off at my car. But in between all that car driving and the walking, tomorrow morning, we're going to go to a pub and have some food. So I'm going to get this light off, get bedded down, and I'll bring you back just before I'm going to put my head down. So I'll see you in a second or two. I'm all tucked up in my sleeping bag now. I've had a nice feed, full stomach, a few drinks. I've had a cracking laugh with my mate. And yeah, I'm really feeling sleepy now. So on that note, I'll see you in the morning, folks, and good night all. Well, good morning everybody. The time's gone 8 o'clock. Looks lovely outside. I think I'll stick my head out at the door and see what it's like. Well, as you saw, it's a little bit claggy outside, but it's nice and warm. The wind's not howling. It died down last night. I had a really good sleep. Right, well, I think I'll turn my thoughts to getting a brew on. Well, I'm out of my tent. I think last time I camped here, I said I'd show you the view off the top of Indian's Head, but it was so claggy, I didn't bother. Well, there is a bit of clag behind me, but it's all blowing away, burning off with sun. So I thought I'd get my old bones up here and show you this view. So yeah, let's have a walk up here. Yeah, the view's coming up any second now. Wow. Look at that. I think this is one of the prettiest views in Peak District. I absolutely love it. Dovestone Res down there. There's a Chew Valley stretching up. Aye, that's not a bad view to be greeted with in the morning. Well, our tents are just down there, so I'm going to wander back and get a cup of coffee on. Right, time to get a brew on. Well, first of all, I will make some space. Pull this footprint back. Aha, found my wooden spoon. Yay. Yeah, you can have that back, thanks for the loan. Let's get my stove set up. Well, looks like my pan of water's boiled. Oh yes. Alright, let's get this off the stove. Right, let's get a brew made. Right, that's my morning brew made. I'm going to dive into it. Oh, that's such a welcome taste in the morning. Well, I'm going to drink this. I might put wireless on, listen to the news, see what's happening, and then slowly start to pack up. But for the moment, I'm just going to drink my brew. Well, I'm out of my tent. My bag, trekking poles, etc. are just down there, ready to be put on. But I'm doing my final last look around for tent pegs and, more importantly, little bits of rubbish. But the place is absolutely spotless. Just here is where I had my tent. My mate's was just behind. And yeah, both pictures absolutely spotless. Well, I'm going to get my bag on and plod on in that direction. We're going back in a different direction. We're going back along the edge path, over the wilderness, then down to Ogden's Brook, and then over the hill to the Swineshaw Dams. And later on, my mate's going to drop me back off to get my car. And I think we're going to go to the pub as well. So yeah, I'll get my kit on and start to plod on. There's Manchester city centre. I don't know if you can see it on this camera in the clag in the distance. We're plodding on up that way. Well, I'm going to head up that way and I'll show you some views, but for the moment I'm going to plod on.
Well, I said I'd show you some views, and look at that dove stones down there. Absolutely beautiful. Oh, what a nice morning to wake up to. The clag's clearing minute by minute. We'll be heading over in that direction. See that solitary tree on the horizon? We're heading towards that. Well, I'm going to put this camera away. I don't know if you can see that monument just on the other hill. That's called Pots and Pans. Might have to go up there sometime and perhaps do a campground there. Looks like it's got brilliant views. Right, well, as I said, I'm going to plod on in that direction. Yeah, we just came across these two little plaques, memorials. I don't think anything happened to them up here. I think they just passed on, but they used to love the place, so that's why there's those two plaques down there. Well, I just thought I'd show you that. Right, so I'm going to climb down, head on in that direction, and show you some views along the way. Well, I've not got my microphone plugged in, I'm just using Windslayer on camera. But yeah, I've reached this signpost just there, and in that direction is the wilderness. So we'll be crossing that and then dropping down over Ormsmoor, down into Ogden's Brook. Well, I'll turn camera around, let's have one last look at this lovely view. Right, well, I'm going to plod on in that direction, catch up with my mate, and show you some views as we get over to the other side at Wilderness. Right, I'm going to plod on. Well, we've just made it across the wilderness, which always makes me laugh, saying I've gone through the wilderness. And got this lovely view. I'll just turn camera around. There's Manchester city centre, there's Swineshaw Dam, this is Ormsmoor, and down in the bottom is Ogden's Brook. What we're going to be doing is going down Ormsmoor to the top of Ogden's Brook, where there's a little bridge. And then rather than following Ogden's Brook, we're going to take a shortcut straight over that hill that you can see just to the left of the reservoirs. I did that the last time I was up here, and it cuts about an hour off the journey. So yeah, we'll plod on and I'll show you some views along the way. Time for an update from the wilderness. When I last spoke to you, we've just come down Ormsmoor and we're at the little bridge at the top of Ogden's Brook. And last time I was here, I think I said that side's the Peak District, this side isn't. So we've officially left the Peak District. Now what we're going to do next is head directly over this hill behind us rather than head down Ogden's Brook, because it cuts off a big corner. So I'll plod on over there towards Swineshaw Dams and I'll see you in a bit. Well, just ordered some food and got myself a pint of pale ale. Good health everybody and cheers. Thank you. Oh, e-bite gum, that's refreshing beer. Well, we're going to go outside and sit in beer garden, so I'll see you over there. Well, we're sat outside in beer garden. Lovely sunny day.
halfway through my first pint, waiting for the food. So once again, good health everybody and cheers. Oh, it's nice beer that, very flavoursome, flowery, like a pale ale should be. Well, I'm going to wait for my grub. When it turns up, I'll let you have a look at it. Well, this food's taking its time, which I'm taking as a good sign because it must mean that it's home-cooked food. Well, I've got a second pint. I'm not going to drink this as fast because I want to save some for my meal. But everybody at home, good health and cheers. Oh, e-by gum. That's refreshing beer. Well, as I said before, I'll bring you back when food turns up. Lovely, thanks very much.
Anything else you need?
Have you got any mayonnaise and ketchup?
Yeah, of course, I'll grab some.
Thanks very much.
Well, my grub's just turned up. I'll just put camera over so you can have a better look. Well, I've got this steak and ale pie, or they call it a cobbler, some gravy, mushy peas, and these thick, chunky chips. Right, well, I'll get some salt and vinegar on my chips.
There you go.
Oh, thank you ever so much. I always like mayonnaise and tomato sauce on my chips, so I'm getting some of those on. One of my pet hates is when they serve things in these little bowls. I wish they'd just stick it all on the plate, because that's what I'm going to do. Right, well, let's see how it tastes. Some nice big chunks of steak in this. Let's get a chip with it and some mushy peas. Oh, that is really nice. Well, I'm going to get stuck into it while it's hot because I'm outside. Don't want it to go cold. I'll see you in a bit. Well, I've just finished my meal. That was bloody lovely. Just what you need after, I think we did about 6.5 miles, 7 miles. Could have been 15 miles. Well, because we're hardcore walkers, we didn't notice. But after a walk where you've started the day off with a cup of coffee and you've not had any breakfast, that's a brilliant way to round off the camp. Well, that's me back at the car. I've taken all my kit off, it's in the boot, and I'm about to start the drive home. But before I do that, I just want to say thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. And as I always say at the end of my videos, I look forward to your comments because I do enjoy reading those and replying to them. Well, on that note, there's not much further to say really, apart from I'll see you next time for another Hengist Wild Camps, and until then, it's cheerio from me. Goodbye all.